Welcome to Macro Crest, where we focus on fundamentals for directional bias and technicals for our entries. So we can see that the RBA is still the boss. We have the RBA minutes on February 17th, and on 19th we have the jobs data. So if the jobs data comes in as the unemployment comes in higher than expected, then we will have the last hawk standing narrative falling. And then the USD will be looking. The markets have priced out recessionary cuts. Now, this is from this analysis. And to be fair, think.ing and routers are telling me that the inflation data was actually cooler than expected, right? So, which tells us that USD weakness. And remember, the retail sales that missed too. So, we are also looking at another retail sales in the calendar. We will get to that. Card is still somehow, but to be frank, on my list, this is for swing analysis, but on my list for next week, card is not the top. NZD is still strong because it's holding. They'll be holding. There's, I think, a 99% chance of a hold on 18th. Then the yen, and then we have the Swiss, and we have the euro, we have the pound. It's kind of so. This is what is out there, right? And then on Monday we have a prelim GDP quarter on quarter from the Japanese government, and the zero point 0.4 forecast previous was in a negative territory. So if it should come out lower than the zero point 0.4, then the yen is out of play. But if there should be a little strength in that, then we know there is a hike on the table for the yen. Okay, so but it's mostly bank holidays on Monday, and then pound we have the labor data on Tuesday, which the market is pricing in the average earnings coming in lower, right? Unemployment rate staying the same. If this comes in lower, this stays the same, and the claimants count comes in lower too, then we will have a problem regardless. And then the card, we will be looking at the inflation data from the card, which will still be the same thing. And NZD, of course, will be holding. We have the inflation data from the pound. If it's market is pricing in 3.0, as we can see that, and we have Aussie labor data. Then we have the core PCE on Friday. Very important. Now let's look at this with core PCE. So this is the Fed's preferred measure of inflation. So let's see how it goes on Friday. So getting to the chart, what I do have on my let's Dixie. Let's take a look at the analysis. It's quite simple that this is the analysis. Looking at it on a weekly, to me the Dixie is still going to the downside, right? But it's not too clear. So with this, I'm very neutral on it. So what's going to happen is if you look at this on the monthly, it's showing me that okay, there's a potential of price coming to take out the previous month's low, right? But then on the daily, let's look at this. Market is ranging here. Now the only thing I can do and would love to do is if there is a break, pullback, a retest, then we would love to short um, the USD. Now that will work. So going to the chart, you'd see the USD JPY, what I have on the USD JPY and what I have on gold. Let me click this. Okay, where is it? Sorry about that. I had network issues. All right, so on this USD JPY, let's look at this. Yes, I gave out an analysis that we are going to short somewhere here, which of course I missed it last week. Yes, and there's this issue I have here. There is a my RSI is right here below, and there is a demand just below here. This is the low. I expect this low to be taken out, giving me divergence. So there should be divergence here. So this will be the only reason why I'll start looking for longs on USD JPY. And then for that reason, the next pair I'll be looking out for longs is NZD USD. Now this is due to USD weakness. Remember the USD JPY is actually due to that's what I'll be expecting. And what else am I looking at? We're looking at the GU. Now this is out of USD strength, right? Let's take this out. Look at this. There's a high, this is a high, this is a low. Now, but this is the main range, right? So I expect this high to be taken. But now the price action is not too clear. If I see a break of this on Monday, Tuesday, then we can look to long to that point. That's it for that. In terms of USD strength, right? Then I'll focus on Euro weakness. Now, Euro is weaker than the pound, in my opinion, for next week. Now I'll be looking at this as a range. This is the range, right? So I expect this to come to this demand before we buy because it reacted at a demand I didn't like at all. It was a lower time frame demand. So if it should come here, yes, I'll prefer that. So that would be a better option for me in terms of shorts. But if it should break higher, I will not even be bothered about this. The GU and AU and NU is there. So with that, remember Aussie is the strongest on board. Then we focus on Aussie card. There is this demand already on the card. There is this demand on Aussie card, so I would like to buy it to this point. And then we have the Aussie yen. Remember, this is I took some losses on this, but the Aussie yen, I would just have to wait a little bit on lower time frame change. And then we have the EA, which is quite interesting. Now this is due to Aussie strength and Euro weakness. Is this supply there? So I'm looking to take it lower. That would be fantastic. And then I have my Euro Swiss, solid Euro Swiss. So remember I talked about shorting. I talked about shorting it at this point, right? Last week. So I talked about there will be a drop, a pullback, and a short. Yes, I did not get into this Euro Swiss. I got into the pound Swiss. Now, next week the price action is not too clear, so I still expect a push down lower. I'll show you. Let me show you something in a moment. Look at this on the weekly first. Then we look at the month. You can see the weekly just created the supply zone, which I don't expect price to get in there yet until the month is finished. Look at the monthly candle. Yes. So it should push lower. Then there should be a massive candle to the downside. Then we pull back. Then we short at that supply zone. Um, that is as per my strategy. Okay. So we have the euro yen. This is due to yen weakness. So let's look at it on the daily. So I'm expecting that okay, there should be a bias from here, right? Because my RSI is already here. But the only issue is that if price should come lower to this point, then I'll look to longs, to the longs, yes. But I'm just doing that for that reason. Okay, so the Euro NZD, this is what I'm saying here. It's fantastic. Okay, so I'm expecting a push down here before we might see longs, but then internal break of structure shorts for me for the Euro NZD. And then we have GA, G Swiss is equivalently the same thing as the Euro NZD. So this is still, there is a short at this particular supply here. This particular supply Yo, and we have the pound Swiss, it's equivalent, the same as euro Swiss. So I'm expecting, yes, I gave the signals out last week, but I expect a drop here, pull back, a drop because it has to take out this low. So that's for pound Swiss, and then for pound yen. Pound yen should, yes, I was looking for longs on this pound yen now. I kept this zone for quite a long time ago, about 2 months ago, and price left. It did not come back. I expected this, but it didn't. So now it's now at this zone. I will look out for internal change, 4 hours, 1 hour, and then I can long that. And finally, I have gold. Yes, if you remember my analysis beginning of this month, I talked about, yes, gold has reacted at this demand, and I expect gold to go higher on the 4 hours JJly. See, and now we have a break. I'm expecting a break, a pullback, a longs again. So it's slow, damn slow, but there is too much volatility in that. So let's see how it goes for next week on it. Do have a safe trading week. Bye.